Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
hello.
While we're waiting just a couple minutes, does anyone know how I can attach a file to this document, the minutes document?
Attach a file. Oh, let me quickly see.
I've got a couple files on my laptop. I don't have, they're not on I can't link them.
Hmm.
Convert, export, archive. Hmm. Well, I'll figure out a way to get them shared. Oh, wait a minute. There's a way to upload content into the wiki. What is it? Hmm.
Oh, there is an option that says add image, video, or file.
Where do you see that?
Give me one sec. So if you go, oh, you gotta edit. Click on edit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was in edit and I got out. Okay, that
Yeah.
was my me.
So next to if you go a little bit to the left, so that you have the icons bar, right? So you have heading, bold. Um, I don't know. Yeah, there a little bit to the right. A little bit more, one more. There. It says add image, video, or file.
Okay, I needed. Well, I want it in a particular place, so this might not be quite the right thing to do. Hmm. All right, I'll take it offline and figure something out. All right, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Um, Pretty light agenda, but I wanted to just touch base with everyone and make sure on everything that we've been doing to migrate to GitHub. I believe it is time not to question this, but to declare success. Is there any? Are there any objections?
Sorry, Larry. Your voice is very faint. I could hear Gabrielle quite clear, but yours is very quiet.
Hmm. Is this any better?
A
It was
little.
fine. It was fine on my side. I think I hear well.
Mm. Okay, yeah, I'll try turning up my speaker here. Carry on.
Okay, so the question on the floor is it time to declare success on the GitHub, every migrating off of AWS into GitHub? And I don't hear any objections.
I think generally it has been, at least from the SD core, everything is completed. Now from the SD run, we know it is completed now. But unless somebody else starts testing something different, in general, I suspect that should be it. Uh,
All right, I'm going to declare success.
Yay, success. Yeah, I agree. I think it's all done.
Yeah, all right. I mean, it's been it's all been pretty much all of March, and we had one, something didn't work a couple days ago that's been corrected, and SD core's certainly been quite solid. Okay, so this is again on the infrastructure issue. We are again trimming all of our costs related to AWS, but also a couple of the LF levels of service. But we do plan to continue using WordPress. The problem is we need volunteers to maintain WordPress. And I've got access, and I believe, I don't know, Gabriel, do you now?
I haven't received any notification or any kind of credentials. So
Okay, I'll follow up to make sure that happens. But I want to open the floor to see if there's anyone that it's just knows WordPress, just in case we run into issues. There's enough weirdness in WordPress that it'd be good to have a quasi expert on that.
We have someone who have used it a couple of years ago. Might not be an expert, right? But could help look at it.
Okay, so that's someone that Gabriel could coordinate with if we need.
Yeah, yes. Same team here, yes.
Okay, good. I've asked Timon as well. I don't see Timon on the call, just to get a couple more eyes on it, just in case something comes up. Is there anything else infrastructure related? I don't know of anything.
So at this point, we've had the last of the AWS infrastructure shut down for, I think, 3 weeks.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Are we ready to get rid of that account and any lingering charges that are related? Because there are always, just having certain infrastructure or having storage, things like that will have some small costs
Yeah.
constantly accumulating.
I believe we are.
Okay.
That was basically the declared success. Yeah. So go ahead and turn down the accounts.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know of any other infrastructure issues. I see Gabriel's filling out a couple of things on the core, so I'm going to give him a minute there in case he's got other things and jump down to.
I think those are the kind of primary things that at least come to my mind.
Okay, go ahead then.
Yeah, so last week I asked help from Andy to kind of, by default, we disabled the SCTPLB component because it did not support Entry-AWF identifications. So we have had a on-ramp, deploying the SD core without the SCTPLB. Last week there was an issue that was reported indicating that the binary for the SCTPLB wasn't in the correct place. So we fixed that issue, and that basically, since it is disabled by default, we don't typically test that component. So with the goal of re-enabling that by default, and we keep track of everything that's going on. So Andy helped us enabling the Entry-AWF ID capability for the SCTPLB. That's a communication that is between the SCTPLB and the EMF, that is a gRPC base, and the added that capability. So I am in the process of testing that support. There is one so far. I started kind of comparing the logs. It seems that there is some minor issue there, but it seems to be working so far. So the Entry-AWF is connected to the EMF through the SCTPLB. What I need to finalize today is to connect a UE that uses Entry-AWF and the Entry-AWF component to validate, to make sure that everything is working as expected. That's from one part. Another kind of like important development on the core is that the iOS MCM team is enabling support for IMS in the core. So they have opened a couple PRs in the core, and we are in the process of kind of reviewing them with them. That's kind of like the most relevant part from the core.
All right, thank you. We didn't get anybody on the call from the RAN group. Well, let me stop. Any other thing else on the core?
Not at least from my side.
All right, so the last item on the agenda about a discussion with a new contributor, we'll get to in a minute. That's primarily core related. On SD-RAN, I don't see anyone on the call, but there is an uptick in activity based upon the questions being asked on Slack. So I'm optimistic there's that people are getting back into that. I don't know anything specific.
Yeah, there was one user kind of opening a request through Slack. So I asked him to share because he was kind of complaining, saying that there is maybe an issue with the AMF.
Yeah,
So I'm asking for. He shared the a pickup captures at some log, so I need to kind of take a closer look and see what really the problem is.
so just a second here. Let me just make note of this, but I want to get it right. This was all right. Only have a Gmail account for Yunmin Yu, but I'm kind of guessing, given the in-depth understanding he had of SD-RAN, that it was someone from Ujang's Korean colleagues.
I believe so.
Okay, I'll just make note of it there. On-ramp, a kudu blueprint work going on. This is good. What?
Yeah. So since there is not official release so far, I mean, it's expected for the official release to happen on April. So they have already a release candidate. So we are using that tag. We have tested the image so far for simulation mode, which is CMQ, and everything works as expected. Today, I expect to test with USRP with the X310. And then when Suresh comes back, I'm asking to help me with testing with the USRP, the V210. And then later on, we need to test with the RU on DPDK base. So, but in general, I mean, the blueprint itself, it's basically there. I need to open the PR. We just need to kind of validate to make sure that everything, all the dependencies are in the correct image, because our end goal was to kind of have an image as small as possible. Because the default image that comes there, it's around like 3 to 4 gigs in size.
Wow.
So, and the resulting image that we have so far is about 500. Let me see. Yeah, it's about like 600 megs. So, and that's where we are kind of making sure that there is no missing runtime dependency.
Good. Thank you. Just 1 second here. Oh, I saw Michelle on. Oh, there she is. I want to go back because I think we might have missed. Michelle might not have been on at the time. Back to the WordPress issue, Michelle. Is it okay, I guess is the right way to ask it, for us to have other community members have access to WordPress?
So we can submit a request to CS to add additional users. It is a bit finicky, as you're probably well aware of, Larry, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend somebody just going in and trying to play around with it who isn't or who doesn't have some experience with WordPress. It's really easy to break the site.
Yeah.
It is, we could also look at how we could redirect more to the wiki or the doc site that might be more maintained, so we minimize how many updates need to be made to the actual website for at least like the next year or so.
Yeah, so that's the discussion we should probably have here, as opposed to who can take ownership of it and potentially break it.
Yeah, like if we, instead of having like the TST page or whatever, if we instead redirect to the wiki, or I'm not sure what other content would need to be maintained. I don't think we've had to do a ton of updates over the last year or so, once we just had kind of the basic content on there.
Yeah, so the strategy of keeping it absolutely minimal and essentially just a landing page, and then pointing to the wiki and docs, I think is probably a good strategy just generally. If hypothetically we did that, but there was an update somewhere we needed to perform, is that something we could submit a ticket for? Or is
Yeah,
this
because as
outside
long
of
as
that
the
scope?
website, yeah, as long as it's still being like hosted through the Linux Foundation, the CS team does like the minimal security updates and
Oh, okay.
whatnot. So like that's not an issue. It does mean the project keeps paying for that, right? So to like truly cut down costs, we had talked at one point about just creating a GitHub version of the website since there's not a ton of content on it currently. That would be the only way to like totally drop that cost. But otherwise, the CS team runs like the regular security or app updates or plugin updates.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's not something
updates
I
are
do
good then.
anyways. So
Essentially,
yeah, if
yeah,
you see
that's
anything
good.
weird, you could submit a ticket to support at etherproject.org and they would be able to help you figure out what's going on. But I don't, like I said, I don't think we've had too many of those things. It's mostly been like updating a broken link here or there.
But that would not extend to anything content related.
No, they wouldn't help update the content.
Right, got it. Okay, so the alternative here is to publish. So does yeah, let's get some feedback here while we have folks on the line as to what we should do here. And what happened recently was, it's a rare vid, but we did change the URL because we changed, master to main or something, and a URL was minimally needed to be edited, but you got to know how to do that in WordPress. That would probably fall outside of the ticket. We don't have any experts. I was unable to do it myself, and if I tried and made a mistake, then we're hosed. So continued use of WordPress is risky. Thoughts?
Question. Is there any reason why we need to stick with WordPress?
No.
So why don't we create something like GitHub Pages and do the redirect similar to what we do with the documentation?
Oh, we can. That's the alternative. It's listed there. Yeah, that is the alternative. But someone's got to do the work to migrate it to GitHub Pages. Now, we can combine these and we can publish via GitHub an absolute minimal landing page, and then point to wiki and so on for more content. So the quote unquote migration could be fairly straightforward.
Yeah. If we can keep it as a GitHub repository, it's gonna be pretty easy to manage it. Any changes and
yeah, it's just it's a matter of doing it. That's what it comes down to.
The thing I like about GitHub Pages as well is like everything is versioned. You can always go back.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to make this as the plan of record then. All right. Where were we? Okay. So this. Yeah. Thanks everyone. So let's come back to the contribution. So this just landed yesterday, and I thought it was potential that we could have him speak today, but that didn't work. So we're hopefully going to get this on the agenda for next time. But just as a quick high-level introduction, this is a company, I will bring up their website, that has been using SD Core, Aether Core, and they've made some improvements to it, and they're looking to contribute them back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can follow the link and learn a little bit more about the company here. The two things that they have. One is the satellite NTN based version of additions to the core. I'm told these are fairly minimal. I haven't seen what the deltas are, but I'm told those are fairly minimal, and that seems like a great thing, and it should be easy to subsume it. The other one he calls charging, and just on a really quick scan, it looks, I would say maybe it's a little bit more about usage accounting, not quite the full business end of things, but I can't be sure. I don't think that we would want to take on necessarily a full billing system, but how would you augment the core so that you could account for usage? That would be great, I think, if it turns out to be that.
Hey, Larry, in the 4G version, right? Remember when we deployed with T-Mobile Poland, we had to have, charging because using with real customer, lawful intercept was a requirement, right? So we had, all the CDR and all the call data record stuff, right? It would be interesting if this could be reused by this person, or, they've done something new, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look any more details. So the two documents I have, I just got this morning, and I haven't had a chance to do anything with them yet. They are documents on the design and basically what's I will find a way. I might just post them. Oh, well, let me just try this just to see what.
So, Larry, from the charging perspective, would they refer to the CHF function, or is something beyond?
I can't give you any more than the keywords here, like charging.
Oh, okay.
I haven't had a chance to look.
Yeah, because I think this is the company from a Nordic country, I believe Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they are the ones who reported the issue with the SCTPLB about the binary. So,
let me see if I can get these uploaded. Just a second. Oh, good. That turned out to be exactly what I wanted. All right. Okay, I have now attached two files that you will now have all the information I have. Take a look at it, and we can talk about it on our next meeting and potentially have a presentation as well. But at this point, I really can't tell you any more than just to alert you that it's on the horizon, and be prepared to talk about it in the future.
You got a click update for the changes to be posted, Larry.
I'm sorry?
You need to click update for the files to be visible to everybody else. So.
Sorry. Can you see it now?
I'm updating the page. It seems like it's coming. Yes. Yep, I can see them now.
Good. So it looks like, so that's all I've got there. This is FYI, prepare to talk about it at some point in the future. It's exciting that they are bringing this back to and want to contribute. That's great. So Michelle, it looks like you've added something here.
Yeah, I came across this the other day. There's remember when we moved everything over to groups.io, we had deprecated these other mailing lists that were under the ONF Google account. And they're still there because I think we were going to wait to make sure everyone had migrated over. But now looking back, is there any reason we shouldn't just delete these?
Yeah, I would delete them. There hasn't been anything going on there.
Yeah, most of them are just announcement ones anyways, where it's upcoming event from 4 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any activity on them since we moved over to the LF, but I just wanted to confirm with this group before I actually went and deleted them.
Yeah. Anyone else? I'd be surprised, but yeah. Please do delete.
I'll plan on deleting them like tomorrow. So if folks want to just take a look, and if anyone has concerns, just let me know by end of day.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Hey, hi. Hi,
Yeah,
Larry.
yeah.
Sridhar here.
Hey, welcome.
I think if you all remember, a few months back, I had come here and presented about SD core packages and operators to use with Nefio. So at that time, even in fact, even now, Nefio supports only kind clusters and single node bare metal cluster kind of a thing. Now we have enhanced that to deploy SD core on any cluster. So we have created additional blueprints and packages to use with Nefio. So in short, people can bring their own clusters and we can use Nefio to deploy SD core fully on those clusters. So if anybody comes asking in your group about using Nefio and SD core, I would request you can direct to us, or we can put this information somewhere in SD core page about that and provide all the links for the packages and operators and everything.
Could you just as a starting point, since it came here, thanks for I sorry I didn't get a bullet on the agenda here, but could you add a bullet on the agenda and just put the appropriate links?
I will do that. I will do that.
Thanks, and then we'll find the appropriate places elsewhere, but we'll have it
Sure.
at least recorded here.
Got it. I will do that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Are there any other topics? All right. Well, thank you, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.